Hello everyone, and welcome to Hollow Knight. For those of you that have never heard of this game before, I'm very excited to show you really what it's about, because in my opinion, this is one of the greatest games I've played in recent memory. Hollow Knight, if you've ever heard me talk about games in general, I always talk highly of Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is one of those games that I keep coming back to, I'll always talk about highly, and I'm hoping that I can showcase why that is on stream today, and then in the videos that I plan on making for this game on YouTube. But basically, Hollow Knight's a Metroidvania game, and what that means is basically you explore this world, you get these power-ups that allow you to explore more of the world, and progress is not very linear. And on top of that, this game tells its story a lot like Dark Souls. Whereas we're given this introductory cutscene that means absolutely nothing the first time you play. Right? You're just kind of thrown into it and you're like, this is what I got. And then that is the story, and it tells this story very vaguely, and they leave a lot of hints throughout the world, and I think it's a very interesting and fun way to, like, tell a story. Because now, it adds this replayability value to the game, because you want to always find out, like, why am I here, what's going on, why am I doing this, and on top of that, it's really fun to play. Now, what you're gonna notice is I have the first portion of this game pretty memorized. And that's gonna be good and bad. It's gonna be good because I know where to go and I'm gonna be able to keep things moving. But when I do inevitably hit my knowledge roadblock, then we might see a little bit of progression slow, but at the end of the day, we're not exactly going for as much progress as we can muster. We're going to be going for how much of this world can we explore and how much of this game can I show off. Because I think that those are important differences. Because basically, in the early game, you're kind of just setting yourself up to succeed later. You're going to be doing that by collecting all these little geos, they're called. And geo is the currency in this game. And you're going to need to use this geo to buy the important power-ups you need to get through the levels easier. And this game operates on kind of like a get resources and then spend resources kind of system. And the resource in this game is called soul. And I think that's an interesting choice because you're basically beating the shit out of enemies and then using their souls as a way to heal yourself or as a way to do more damage. But we don't have the ability to cast that spell yet, but that comes with time. So basically this is just the introductory section. And it's basically tight platforming, and then you go and actually start the game. But in this world of Hollow Nest, we basically have to beat bosses and explore in order to get as much stuff as we need to defeat this corruption that is coming. We don't know much about the corruption, especially not at this point in time, but the game is going to be telling us a story about the corruption and everything, right? And part of the way they do that is through these. Because these are just telling us the story, and this is saying, like, if you go through this door, like, this is Hollow Nest, like, proceed with caution, basically, is how it usually goes. And then you break down this ancient-looking door, and then you're in Hollow Nest. And then this is the world where the game takes place. Now it's our job to simply just follow the path. And I'm going to show you, like, sort of things that I picked up along the way. And then, like, other stuff as well that I thought the first time through. This good old Elderbug, he's basically saying, like, there is a great kingdom beneath us. And it kind of sucks now. Because it's all gone to crap. And we're like, okay. Then we adventure in. And there's different factors to this as well. Because for the early game, where I have everything memorized, kinda memorized, I'm definitely gonna get lost now that I say that. I think I definitely need to go left first, if I recall. Left and loop around. But what we're gonna do is in every single map in this game, we have to find someone named Conifer. And Conifer is the local map vendor. He actually lives in the town where we were just talking to the Elderbug guy. But Conifer gives us a map. It's not a very fancy map. It doesn't have everything filled in. But if we purchase certain things from the shop, we're eventually going to learn how to fill in everything on this map and go from there. See, and every time you hear that humming, you know our boy Conifer, he's around and he's ready. He's a cartographer. And we buy his map, and this is another important reason to have Geo, because now we have a map. She operates this shop, his wife does, and we can buy things off of her. But based off of this map, you can see, and this is just using gamer intuition, we're supposed to go to the giant evil looking thing in the middle of the map. That's what I thought the first time I went for it. And then based off of what I know, Conifer is going to be that weird squiggly thing on the left side of the map. So we're going to go and we're just going to follow it this way. Because I think this is a really good way to do an introductory level to the game. Like, this is the first real level of a game. And it calls upon, like, your previous knowledge to make you think, well, we know that we're gonna have to fight big bad bosses in this game. So they make the first level of the map really obvious where you should be progressing to. And I will say, it is not always that obvious, right? In future levels of this game, you spend way more time exploring than you do anything else, really. Because exploration in this game is what's going to give you the optional power-ups. And I do need a couple of them because I just really like them. And this is just, again, platforming. What I like about this game is it's so charming. Its art style is amazing. My girlfriend thinks this game is cute. Right? She originally thought that our little Hollow Knight here, she thought that he was a bunny. And it took me a while to learn that whenever she was referring to the bunny game, she was talking about Hollow Knight. And it's always been funny because my girlfriend doesn't play a lot of games. She's currently trying to get more into them as she juggles through her school program. But she doesn't really understand a lot of the things that most people that play games all the time pick up instantly. So it's a really interesting way to see her play a game and, like, go through and not know inherently that A button is jump. Or all these other things that people who, like, play games all the time just take for granted. Because I can guarantee you, if I set her loose in Hollow Knight, she would have a bad time. She would not be progressing. Just jumps alone would be enough to confuse her. Then as we continue on, these are going to be an important part. So there's these benches, and benches restore our HP. But then there's also these stag stations, and these basically serve as travel points, where we get a magical stag that's going to appear on screen very shortly. And basically he brings us place to place. Then as things continue on, as we keep pushing our way through here. We should be coming up on the first boss pretty soon. But I know that I need to get... Oh, it's here somewhere. Where was it? It's a hidden block. Recalling nothing but past knowledge. So that little whining sound you hear, that is a grub. And grubs are great. For those of you that are wondering what a grub looks like, I actually have a plush grub. He's on my desk. Keeps me company. But if we break down this hidden wall and defeat these enemies, we can free these different grub creatures. And eventually, after we free enough grubs, we get more power-ups. So we could either get more health, a special item, all things that are going to help us by keeping on. And what's really interesting is that one was just simply hidden, right? But some grubs you don't have access to yet. Some grubs you have to progress through the game and then come back in order to find. So again, this game's always keeping you on your toes, and it incentivizes you to go back and replay old areas later. Hi Maya, how's it going? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, so we're progressing through Hollow Knight. These big things, the first time I played, I spent a little bit too much time on them. But that's alright. All dying does in this game, for those of you that have played Dark Souls, it's very similar to that. Your spirit basically holds your money. But since I just finished spending a majority of my money, I'm not actually losing out on a lot. And I know where the big choke points for money are in this game, so I'm not too concerned. But basically, unless you die twice in a row like I just did, it's not going to matter too much how often you die. Because as long as you get your spirit back, you can get the money that the spirit had on it. So that's why it's important to kind of juggle your health. And I don't know why, but that boss, or like that enemy there, is harder than the first boss at this stage in the game. Because now we're entering the first boss's room. And he's actually just right up here. Because as we go in here, we kill these 3 enemies. And then, the moment we progress a little bit further to the left, the boss is going to spawn like this. Beauty. And then this guy does 3 attacks. And unless he's starting to swing his mallet like that, then I know I'm safe. And this boss is not hard. Basically, you hit him, then his spirit comes out, and you have to hit the spirit as many times as you can, because that's what's actually going to do damage to him. And then now he does his 3rd attack. So he jumps and swings, or he causes boulders to fly down. And now that we're in the phase 2, all of his other attacks do it. So it's just a matter of keeping your distance, landing your strikes, and not choking like I have been to this point. Right? There's no way that I should have died to that basic enemy as many times as I did, but here we are. There was a point in time where, and this is still one of the only games that I'd consider speedrunning, because I find this game incredible. The movement is fun. Oh, he hit me. The movement's fun. I've always enjoyed playing the game. And on a game where I've already memorized so much of the pathing, it's like kind of a no-brainer to like try and get as much value out of the game as you can. And then he falls down here, and then he actually, that's the whole fight. And just like that, that's the first boss of the game. And I find that giving people an easy introductory boss like that is very important. And then you see he dropped that city crest. That city crest is going to be important later. Because those city crests and all the items that you're given in this game all have a use at a later time. And then once I have more abilities, I'll actually be able to wall jump, and I can come back to this room and explore it more. Because as you can see, like, there's more stuff up there, but I can't interact with it. And then if we go over here, that opens that this way. But being the naturally explorative person that you are, like the first time I went through this game, I was like, well, I need to know and I need to follow these little witch symbols. So you go up here, you follow these witch symbols, and that brings you up to this house. And inside this house is the most important power-up in the game. So what happens is you go through here, you talk to this lovely snail shaman who says that she needs help or that she'll help you, and then she drugs you. Right? So you jump into the little happy drug, it possesses you, and then you fall unconscious and pass out, which is super important. And then we get the first power-up of the game. This is the most important power-up, if you ask me. It's a ranged attack. Then you can see our snail shaman on the other side of this fence, and basically when you go and talk to her, she's like, oh, sorry for drugging you. Can you go kill the giant monster within my lair? I'd really appreciate it. That's what she's saying. So then you adventure this way, and you're like, okay, guess I'm going and killing this giant beast. And you're like, well, what beast could it be? These are all enemies I've seen before. Well, you keep going up this way. Eventually, we're going to fall upon a happy little critter that is a big version of those rollout guys that I was just fighting there. And now, it's very important, because now that we have this little ranged weapon, we're actually going to be able to do things a lot more effectively combat-wise if we play perfectly. Because now, we can either spend our soul on healing, or we can spend our soul on attacking. And if you're playing perfectly, you can end up putting a lot more damage into these bosses or enemies that you're fighting if you're not getting hit by their stuff. And this is actually just a soul generator, and if we continue this way, I believe there's an extra health and shield thing around. Don't actually need to fight him. Yeah, there it is. And these give me extra money, because I do want to be able to go to the shop after this and pick up a compass, which is going to show me where I am on the map. And I also want to pick up a couple other things. Come here. You can't run. I need you. Thank you. Give me your life force. And this is the boss that she's talking about. This is the beast. You can see I can now shoot from range, but I can only do that with the soul that I have. So, luckily, being a video game boss, he's sending me enemies to gather soul off of so that I can kill him. And if we go through here, we get a soul catcher. And this is another mechanic in this game called charms. And charms basically take what you have, and they can make them stronger. They're like little attributes. So you can make your attacks stronger, you can take less damage, and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. So now if we go to this bench here, and we press our little button there, we have the soul catcher charm. So now, whenever we attack someone, we get more soul, which is going to be good when we're trying to heal more or if we're trying to attack more. So now we just roll down this way, and now we're good to continue on our merry way. Because now you can see Conifer's gone. He feels really bad, but don't worry. If you ever go through an area and like completely beat it, you can still go and buy the map from town. And we're actually going to go to town now. As much as I do know exactly where to go, my plan for this stream is to get through everything I do know and then start progressing on stuff that I may be less comfortable with. Because I've played this game... Oh wow, we fell all the way back down. I've played the intro section of this game multiple times. So I do know and have a very good grip on where I'm going right now. But there is going to come a time where I'm not going to have as big of a clue where I should go and need to backtrack. And as such, being set up to backtrack and explore and know what I have explored is going to be very important to me. So we continue on this way. We're going to go back to town, go to our shopkeeper, and call ourselves... Excuse me. But now, you'll see that this door is open now. We go in here.
Bapanada.
We talk to good old Zelda. And now, we buy stuff. And these things aren't the most difficult, and like you can see here, like I was saying before, like we do have these different things. So we can buy the compass, because I find the compass is going to be very important. And then the quill is the other most important thing to me, because it's like I was saying before, you can update the map with places you've explored. Very important things to buy. So now I have the perfect amount of gold to do that. So now you can see, I can, oh, I should have slept on that bench. I'm going to go back up and do that because I want to equip the compass right now. Because I know there's a bench right over here. So we go on this. Now if I go on here and I equip my final charm, which was the compass, when I hold down my map, you can see where I am on the map now, and that's very important. Because let me tell you, there are times where you get lost in this game, and getting lost in this game is not a good feeling. When you get lost without a map, you feel it, and it doesn't feel particularly good. So now, the first time I played Hollow Knight, I got lost after I beat the first boss. I ended up spending a lot of time. This is just the Grub Lord over here. And he rewards you every single time you capture a grub. So you can see there's the grub we rescued before. But he's still sad because a lot of his other grublings are still, you know, in pots across the world. So as we explore, we're gonna go back to him and get more rewards. But now, we're gonna go this way into Green Path. This is where we start talking about how this game gates itself. Because you can see this is the exact same beast that we fought inside the shaman's hut, right? Which means unless we go to the shaman or, you know, beat the first boss, we actually can't progress past here, and thus we can't go to Green Path. So the way this game is going to be locking off areas to players is going to be through hiding it behind power-ups, and you're going to see that a lot in this game, where different areas of the map are not going to be accessible unless you clear previous portions of the game, but it's all woven and broken into one another. Oops, I just didn't hit the jump button. So that you can feel like you're constantly making progress. Oh, I should kill this. So, where are you from, Maya? I hope I'm saying that right. Okay, so now, as we continue on our journey here, we're gonna keep on exploring and moving forward, and hopefully we can get to Hornet pretty quick here. Now, for those of you that have never played Hollow Knight before, which is I'm assuming everyone watching, or if you have, never ashamed to get a refresher, Hornet is the only other person in this game that you consistently interact with. Hornet, like, is a part of this adventure with you. And what's fun about that is it gives you someone to completely, or to continuously reference. right? Because whereas most characters in this game you can go and interact with again, Hornet's actually only available in certain portions of the game, but she always travels and progresses on this journey with you. See, and that's Hornet. So as you can see, we try to jump up there, we can't quite make it, but now the only thing that you can think of if you use your if you leverage your knowledge of past games is that's the only person in this game that I currently have anything to do with. Even if this is your first playthrough, you think to yourself, well, I clearly have to follow that person. So now, being that you can't actually make that jump unless I might be able to do it if I time it perfectly. Now, there's actually a speedrunning strat that you can do where you use your death clone to make it so that you can get up the extra distance. I've done it before. It's actually not the hardest speedrunning strat in the game. I don't even know if it's still a part of the run. But now all I know is that we need to head left somehow. But without a map or anything, we don't really know where to go. Luckily I do, right? I obviously know where I'm going. And I'm always going to be thinking about what things I need along the way. But then we're going to be eventually run into a place where I don't know what I'm doing. And those will be sad times. But as we go and we continue on, we're gonna keep on keeping on. And there's Conifer's telltale sign of he's near. He drops a bunch of stray maps around. Now we can get the green path map to get an idea on where we're supposed to be. Ah, yes. And we can hear the crying of our precious grub. Now, I don't actually know if I can get to that grub right now, because I don't have dash or wall jump. So, again, we have to come back to this area later, because we'll have the tools to go and get them, because we don't have those tools yet. Now, if we look at our map, you can see if we go down, then we can head all the way left, and that's what we're going to end up doing. But just to make it easier to get back later, we take that out. Kill this, collect his money. And then we're back to where we were before, but we couldn't actually hop up here until we go all the way around and knock it down. And that's actually a really good way to gate stuff too. It's once people do it for the first time, why make them do it again? They've proven they can do it, give them a shortcut, and then it all goes on its merry way. Now if we go through here, now the first time you go through here, and the first time I went through here, you assume there's gonna be a boss fight of some sorts, and then this thing happens, and you're like, I'm definitely dead. But this is actually the hunter. And he gives you this journal that makes it so that as you go on your journey, you're basically collecting data, and it turns into this little quest where you want to kill as much as you can because eventually it fills out this hunter's journal. So now, the hunter's journal. Ooh, I actually almost died there. Oh, and there's a grub here. He goes back home. And then we go this way. That's just where we were before. So now, oops, I need to drop down. Here, then we need to hit the jump button. That's an important part. Beauty. Okay, so we're all healed up and we're just going to continue scrolling left because the only thing we know is that if we keep going left, we're eventually going to get to where Hornet was. Oh, look at that! There's Hornet, telling us once again where we need to go. And just like I was saying before, we've killed a new enemy, it gets added to the journal. And once we kill X amount of one enemy, it gets re-added to the journal, I believe. Can't actually remember how that specific part works. Okay. And then we just keep... Oh, we want to go this way. But there's a trap on the ground. We can actually kill the trap, too. We just have to continuously bait them out and then take it down. Good, and now we're here. So now, we can't actually make it up there, so we're gonna go this way. Then we meet the next enemy, which is Giant Bush. Giant Bush likes to run at us. But eventually, if we hit him, and then we hit him again, we're gonna be able to add him to our journal. And then we're good to go. They're actually very easy to avoid. I gotta remember to hit the jump button. It's getting ridiculous. Or maybe I am actually hitting the jump button like I think I am, but my control's broken. That would be very par for the course, let me tell you. Just to have my control be busted. Because I actually haven't used this Xbox controller in a very long time. Alright. Oh. Aw, damn it. Just when you think you're safe, a giant tree monster decides it's gonna run at you. Good. Keep on keeping on. And then there's Hornet again. So now, just like we thought before, we have to keep following Hornet, and now Hornet's going up, so we follow her this way. This is all on the notion that we're eventually going to catch up to her, and she's going to tell us something. Hopefully. Good. Now as we continue on our journey, we know we need to hold up. Because all Hornet was doing was going up. So if Hornet's going up and we need to talk to Hornet, we too should be moving up. And with that knowledge in mind, we need to keep going up. Luckily, we do have enough geo that we can open up this gate and access this bench. This game is a lot harder if you don't have that geo. You have to go and then farm that geo, or, heaven forbid, find a different way around it entirely. Oh, that's so sad. But that's why I keep my soul. You'll see oftentimes I don't use my soul offensively. I strictly use my soul to heal, unless I'm trying to pump out damage in a particular phase. Like, I might be able to demonstrate that in the Hornet cutscenes or whatever, where I can show you, like, when's a good time to, like, use your soul. Good. Hey, Jim, how's it going? I noticed you resubscribed a couple days ago, so thank you once again for the continued support, and welcome back. It's been 10 months now that we've been on this together, so super happy to see it. Then once we go through here, we have one more room to go through. But what you'll notice is we actually can't go through this room. Right? I can't actually jump up there. Which means we have to find another way around. How's my week been? My week's been really good. Been taking my time and going through things. What about you? How's your week been? I will say the one thing that's been kind of alarming and borderline upsetting is Halloween hasn't even happened yet. And I'm already seeing Christmas things in stores, which I guess isn't irregular for this time of year, but it's still upsetting to me that you know, Halloween's still a good 2 weeks away, and I went to Costco today and was bombarded with Christmas stuff. Alright, and then up here, you'll notice we can go to the right, but speaking to our true theme, we always need to progress left to try and get to where Hornet is. Finished Christmas? You're already done Christmas? Like, you finished your shopping already? Because that, if you've already finished your Christmas shopping, I will say, like, good on you, I'm jealous. I have not even begun thinking about it yet. And then, oh, look at that. That's a guy who looks just like me. We should help him out. But then we get into this mini boss fight, where this big guy spawns a whole bunch of little guys and tries to make our life a living hell. But as long as we manage the little ones, we're gonna be pretty good. We just kind of have to pay attention and try to get damage in where we can. We have a really large healing window in this fight. So, like, it doesn't even matter if you take a lot of damage. We just kind of have to play around it. We get a lot of soul. Never heard of this game before? So this is Hollow Knight, and it's one of my favorite games that I've played in recent memory. It's a Metroidvania style game in which you explore the world and gain these power-ups that let you continue to explore the world. So this is Zote. He's really overconfident. You could see he was getting bombarded before by that giant beast that we just killed. And it's our fault because he was actually hunting that giant bird, despite the fact that he was getting absolutely slaughtered and couldn't even stand up for a little bit. But yes, Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is one of the games that I always like say that games should aspire to be. Oh no, I do not like this. I need to get on the other side of this. At least try to take them on one at a time. Okay, one down. But the reason I like Hollow Knight so much is it's affordable and it's really fun. Ooh, run away. Just get 1 health, maybe 2. Alright. There we go. That's really, like, quite inspiring that you've done all your Christmas shopping. Like, my girlfriend's really into Christmas, and she has already almost done most of her shopping. Just, you know, taking advantage of the deals where she can find them. But yeah, she certainly isn't done it yet, so good on you guys. There we go, and now we can rescue this little critter. But yeah, I will be, for the holiday season, I guess I should probably prioritize this video. I want to make, like, a top 5 kind of, like, video game Christmas present kind of vibe. Because there are some games that, like, I wouldn't recommend getting as presents. Or, like, in general, just, like, what would different gamers like as a Christmas present? And then what, I can, like, go over pros and cons of these different games, be it price point or anything like that, Just because, like, for instance, a game like this is definitely going to rank on that because it's on the Nintendo Switch. It's on, you know, Steam. And if you have Steam, you can connect your Xbox controller to it. And then you can access it and use a control on your PC. But on top of that, like, Hollow Knight is not an expensive game for the experience it provides. And one of the series that I am planning on making and starting is like, what is the true value or the true cost behind some of these games, right? Because a game like Link's Awakening, and I do have a video in the pipeline about this. When I think about Link's Awakening, like, that game took me 16 hours to beat, and it cost me $90 at the end of it all. And there's not much replay value in that. Right? Because the bosses were simple, the dungeons weren't the hardest to figure out, and there isn't much replay value in trying to go and do that game again. And I'll pick back up on this after we fight this guy. So Hornet thinks we're stalking her, because Hornet is on the same kind of quest we are. She knows there's this corruption, and she can't allow us to do what she thinks we're gonna do. What does she think we're gonna do? Well, we don't really know. We don't really understand why Hornet hates us, and Hornet's whooping my ass right now. I've just timed things so poorly to this point. Yeah, I gotta go for a heal window. Oh, we got a big heal off. That's important. I haven't done this fight in so long. There we go, and that's phase 1. In these interphases, you're gonna see me heal a lot. Just because it's the best opportunity to. There we go, and then I heal here. Then we can shoot her here. There we go. Heal up. Boom, boom, boom. There we go, and that's the fight. Really fun fight. Like, yes, I make it look easy, but bear in mind, I've played this game before. You enjoyed the Zelda video? Good, I'm happy to hear it. I had a lot of fun making that video. It was kind of different. And it's something that I want to keep doing, because the theme of my channel as of late is like, I want to explore these video game worlds with everyone. And I think the best way we can explore these different worlds is by me telling you the story, and then I could do a review of it where I assume that you have the basic understanding of the story, and then I can focus on other aspects. And then this cutscene here is saying that we must have these seals must be broken, and it shows these 3 guys here. So now, all we know is that we have to break these seals, and all we have is that those 3 guys are what we're targeting now. So, like, it's always telling you where you should go, but it's never telling you directly, like, go do this now. And now we have the dash, which is very important. Most of them will be RPGs. In general, I do think that a lot of the games that I think would make good presents or have the most value attached to them are actually the indie games. Because independently developed games, they are often just passion projects. And that's why I think these independent developers really like to give their games away for like a reasonable price. 4 hours, yeah. Well, to be fair, like, if you don't know where you're going, you have to explore the map a lot more than I am, because you can even look at my map. I haven't explored a lot of this, so you can often get really far sidetracked. There's nothing wrong with that. But in general, I've only been streaming for 45 minutes and we're already down 2 bosses. Then this is the Lake of Un. We're gonna take down this guy just to steal his money. Oops. Try not to get completely bodied. Okay, back up. Like, it's really easy to survive the overworld of this game just because you do have so much terrain to work with for the most part. Then we go in here and we find this guy, who's Quirrell. And Quirrell's a G. Quirrell is a great guy. I love Quirrell. He is another one that you're going to run into a little bit, and in the late game, and I won't spoil anything, Quirrell actually plays a pretty big role, and I love Quirrell. So now, we have to go and get the ability to walk on walls. And the only way I know how to do that is I have to go... Oh, it's gonna take me a while to remember where to go, but I'm gonna figure it out. I just need to, like, see the giant map and go from there. But anyway, back to my Legend of Zelda rant. Link's Awakening is a redo, like, it's basically a new skin on an old game that is literally about, God, almost 25, maybe 25 plus years old at this point. And for the most part, like, you can see the age on it. Right? Like, the story's still fun. But I don't think that game would have sold for $90 back in the 90s. Right? So I don't know what caused such hard inflation on it. So that now everyone's like, bruh, let's just charge everyone, you know, $90 a piece for them to play this game that for the most part it's literally just a reskin. The only added value they put into it was this Legend of Zelda Dungeon Creator mode thing that you can't even put online. Right? So all of the value and all of the, you know, admittedly could have been really cool factors of this new game are immediately tossed out the window when you think about the fact that you can't even post your levels online for other people to play. And that's really disappointing, because I personally think that if this Legend of Zelda Maker kind of vibe were to come out and, you know, have online functionality and be really fun to play, well, then all of a sudden they got a really good idea there. All right, I actually think that's genius. And then, you know what? It's worth a little bit more to me at that point. But in terms of just value, it's hard for me to get behind a $90 reskin. And granted, I paid for that $90 reskin because I do think it's important to, you know, try things out, see it, because I'll admit, it's my first time going through that entire experience. Right? So there's something to be said about how me going in blind 25 years later and I still blow through that entire game in 16 hours. That's me, someone who's never experienced it before. Imagine if you paid $90 for a nostalgia trip and you get through that game in like 8 hours. I can't see anyone being like, it's worth 90 of my dollars, my tax paid for dollars, on an experience that takes me 8 hours. Like, it seems a little bit harder to justify when you think about it in terms like that. And that's going to be the theme of my new review series. Because I do think that I can give a different perspective on things than simply like, this game mechanic is fun. Granted, I do think having fun is an important part of video games. I'm not going to try and sit here and say that like we should think of things simply from an analytics point of view, because that's not very fun, and it's not the point of a video game to just sit down and think about it simply from an analytical point of view. But I do think there are other talking points, and here we go, found it. So now to get to the next part of the zone, I actually just need to do a lot of falling, and I'm going to try and fall as safely as possible here. Because after I do I basically have to go down as far as I can, and then go right as far as I can. all the way down. Good. And then I can't remember what's this way, so I'm gonna quickly check it out, because if I could get a bench that's like a halfway point here, that would be pretty neat. Oh, I remember, it's the bank. Bullshit. I mean, like, feel free to use the bank in your own playthrough if you want to, but I ain't about that life. And then, see, here's our second run-in with Sir Quirrell. He never thought he'd find this stag station, because remember, this whole area, this whole zone of Hollow Nest is supposed to be long abandoned. Excuse me. So finding all of these different, like, fully functioning systems, like, this is basically just a bus stop. Yeah, and to your point there, Jim, I find that mostly indie games tend to be less cash cow oriented. Like, I'm going to parallel this to another game that I thoroughly enjoy. It's Rivals of Aether, which is basically Super Smash Brothers, but on a on your PC. And the developer of that game really just wanted to have extra mechanics added to a game that he really loved. So he created this, again, passion project. And then he sold it to people for a very reasonable price, and he never once thought, like, I could make so much money off of this. But then it ended up being a pretty big game. Well, and then to that comment, it makes, like, that brings up the whole talk about DLC, right? This extra downloaded content where, like, people have already bought and played and paid for this game. Then the developers go and add this extra bit that people are now going to think, well, I need to get the full experience for this game that I've played. What's another $20? And I think that's the wrong way to go about it. Like, I think DLC has its points, right? I'm not saying that there shouldn't be DLC, because I think there are points where DLC has its value, right? If I, after having played Fire Emblem, am going to be given an opportunity to say, no, another fourth story, or fifth story, I guess, sorry, of Fire Emblem, I would probably pick up that DLC assuming it wasn't another $90. But in terms of, like, cosmetic DLCs, I'm okay with cosmetic DLCs, because people that want to play dress up with their favorite characters can do so. It's no skin off mine. But specifically gameplay-oriented DLC, it's... oh man, I fell back down. Gameplay-oriented DLC gets very sticky, and I think the games that do it best are, once again, the independently developed companies. Because I'm going to compare two examples now. I'll compare Overcooked DLC to, and Overcooked is an independently developed game. It's a party game. It's super fun. And I'm going to compare that to the Hyrule Warriors DLC. So, let's start with Overcooked. Overcooked DLC, you had, they were, I believe, $10 each, and they basically added another whole story to it, right? So, if the base game had 16 levels, then it would give you even more levels. That's good DLC design. It's an extra world, let's say. Hyrule Warriors does the same thing, but instead of charging you, what was it? 'Cause I bought it. The full DLC experience for Hyrule Warriors, and I got the cheap version because I bought it early, was like $40. And I think that Hyrule Warriors is actually one of the best DLC packs that Nintendo could offer. But then if we look at something like Smash Brothers, and I'm gonna use Smash because I like to pick on that game. I think Smash does things a little bit tricky because they have so many characters, they want to keep giving people more characters, but then they're charging you $5 per character. But then they're gonna give you like 50 characters. So now a game that was base $90 for people that want to have the full experience of the game are now going to have to put out, I mean, we're already, what, 5 DLC characters deep in Smash Brothers? Whoops. So people wanting the full experience of the game that are going to be, say, getting it for Christmas a year later are now going to be, you know, out that a lot more money than they thought they would be. And now just to catch up. If a game is complete and they're just adding more content, it's all good. Yes, I agree with that. If the game is complete and all they're doing is adding a story that's, you know, optional, that's all good. I can play Skyrim without DLC for thousands of hours, still have stuff to do, and then I get a DLC for extra content, but like you don't need to. Yes, that's, again, good. I like those kind of things. I think Skyrim does DLC well. You get the base game or the same version with extra packs, but if you don't want any more players. Yeah, exactly. And I think the best example of bad DLCs is Fire Emblem Fates or Awakening, whichever one it was. And the reason for that is... No, it was Birthright. Because there was this Fire Emblem game for the 3DS where... a lot like the new one, you have 3 or 4 distinct stories. But instead of doing like the new one and giving it all to the player who's spending $90 to buy the entire experience, they said to you, nah, screw you. You want to play each story, you have to pay full price for each story. And then later on, we're going to introduce a 4th true story experience that you are now going to want to buy again. Like, that sucks. Like, people have bought, played, and enjoyed this game, and then they're told, wait, the story that you've experienced isn't actually canon, please pay another $30. Like, that's whack. Oops, can't live inside him. Oh, Star Wars Battlefront? Yeah, we don't talk about that. Star Wars Battlefront was particularly awful because you needed to partake in loot boxes just to play the game, like just to play the base game. So yeah, like that's another perfect example of people that like just a horrible DLC system. Yeah, that's a perfect example. I've actually wiped that one from my memory because I hated it so much. All right. Now we continue on keeping on. And then, okay, so now I'm actually going towards the bottom of the map just because that's where I need to go. But yeah, Star Wars Battlefield, or Battlefront, whatever the hell it's called, 2, where EA got in all that crap and they eventually decided, you know what? Maybe we won't charge people nearly $500 to play this, like, already less than ideal game. And I think COD, Call of Duty, the Call of Duty franchise is another one that I have gripes with about DLC. Because it costs $90 for the base game. These are all Canadian statistics, but it's what I can speak on because, well, I'm Canadian. So they're charging $90 for the base game, and then to play on all the additional maps that they're gonna add every 3 months, they're asking you pay another, God, what is it? I think they ask you to pay another 40, 50, 60 bucks in DLC. Like, that's insanity. No, the most embarrassing train wreck in the entire industry was Fallout 76. I still don't think that what happened with Battlefront, like, because what happened with Battlefront was recoverable, right? They recovered from that. Granted, it wasn't a very full recovery, but they still came back a little bit. Everyone has written off Fallout 76 to the point where it was selling for less than half price like 2 months later. And like, it sucks because I was also going to get Fallout 76. I am very, very fortunate that I did not go and do that. Because if I would have gotten Fallout 76, I would have been very, very upset. But in terms of like just embarrassments, I think Fallout 76 beats out Battlefront, but that's just my opinion. Now, you'll see that Hornet went that way. The only reason I know I have to go this way first is because I know what's coming on the other side. So I actually know I need to go to Mantis Village first. Oops. Well, time to get the fuck out of there. Like, I've never had any attachment to the Fallout franchise, so I do know some people that did go and get Fallout 76 that were rightfully very upset. Because it's not really the experience that they were marketed for. It's not really the experience that they wanted. But it's the experience they got. And I think that's just, you know, in poor taste. And that sucks. Like, that truly does really suck for everyone involved. Because I'm sure the developers never intend to make a bad game. I think in EA's case, they definitely intended to make a cash grab game. Would you make a video ranking the top 5 worst video game releases? It's funny that you're mentioning that, because I've been messing around with the idea of creating like a video game specific news source. Right? Because if you think about like a channel like Philip DeFranco, he's covering all this mainstream news, and I think it's an important channel because I go to him for most of the news that I take in. I think he's a trustworthy enough source. I've watched him long enough, like I trust his team. I think no one's doing it for gaming specific things, and I think it's a missed opportunity. So I'm looking into doing something like that. And then as for making like top 5s and stuff like that, yeah, it's certainly something I'm looking into because I think it's fun and I do enjoy making scripted content. I think that my voice as well as my play style serves scripted content more than it wouldn't. And what I mean by that is I tend to play careful, I tend to play slow, and I tend to have a reason behind everything that I'm doing, whereas most entertaining streams that I watch have people that consistently say fuck it. And I don't have the want or desire to play that way. So like I don't mind taking the extra time to simply explore, right? Whereas most people who are trying to provide this entertainment aren't, oop, I fell a long way there. Where people that are trying to entertain may or may not, despite their wants, won't explore. Even though they may really want to and may feel the same as me that exploring is really important. But streaming, I'll admit, changes the way you play a game because in the back of your mind, you're always wondering like, hey, am I doing enough to entertain here? So it changes it in that regard, and that's why I find it really good that I can play something like Hollow Knight, because I have played this game a lot, so I can turn my brain off for the most part. And by turning off my brain, I can still play this game. I've played it a lot, I love it, I'm still decent enough at it to consider it like the gameplay your guys are watching entertaining, but then it frees up my brain to talk to you guys about stuff like crummy DLC practices. Because I think a good part of a stream is the conversations that are being had. And when I'm playing, and I'll use Smite as the example, whenever I was streaming Smite, it is very hard to talk about things like DLC practices when you're constantly focused on not getting camped in ranked. So I do think there's merit one way or the other for that. I have to remember to come back here. Oops. Okay, good. Atari ET. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, what, like, there's been so many good train wrecks throughout the years. And just when you think, like, maybe the train wrecks are done, and, you know, they're a thing of the past, that's when you get slammed with Fallout 76 and, like, EA. Doing what they do best. Like, I still think EA's reputation is gonna take so long to recover. Okay, time to damage boost through this shit. Just because people are gonna have a hard time trusting a company that did that to them last time. And I think that's good. I think it's rightfully so. We live in a capitalist society. We should embrace the fact that we get to dictate the market. Right? If we have a company like EA that decided, hey, if you want to play Darth Vader in a Star Wars game, you better pony up extra cash. Like, I think it's good that they got slapped. Like, and personally, like, there's that new Star Wars game that's coming out that's getting better reviews so far because it's apparently actually a decent game. I'm still skeptical about buying it. I have no idea what you're referencing, Sir Corneo. But I'm going to assume it's that movie that I haven't watched from Batman. Because I feel like that's a very Joker line. Because I have not watched the original Dark Knight trilogy. Oh, sports games in general I find are really bad at, like, the kind of content they're producing. And what I mean by that is when I think about games like FIFA and like NBA 2K and Madden, they release a game year after year. And all they're doing is updating the teams and, you know, like the resources. And for the most part, not much is changing in the game. And I think the best example of this is the 2K franchise, because this is another video game scandal kind of deal that happened recently. NBA 2K, whatever the hell year we're on now, 20, apparently was so lazily made that if you look in the bleachers of a game in NBA 2K20, they still have the stickers that say it's 2K19. Like, that's just pure greed and selfishness. To charge people $90 a year for this experience. A year, $90 a year to keep up with this 2K franchise that they may like. And then just, like, bastardize them. And be like, you know what, we don't even care enough to give you a completely new game. We're just literally reskinning it. And I heard the graphics engine for the new game is worse than what they had last year. So, like, there's just a whole bunch of things like that. So, like, it's too bad is what it is, but that's, you know, like, we live in a society kind of deal. Like, it's all a shame. Yeah, that's fair. The companies do need to stop making bad games. I'll completely agree with that. Now you can tell I've been talking a lot more than usual because my throat's already dry and my water's empty. So I'm going to pause the game here, but let's focus on what's in front of us here. Continue. It's just like dominoes. If one person gets it, everyone else has to. Yeah, that's certainly how new generation consoles work, right? If we think about the success, if we want to call it that, of something like the Xbox systems or the PlayStation systems, like console wars are dictated and won by people that want to play with their friends. So the person that controls the friend groups controls the business, right? The only reason I have an Xbox is because the people I played games with in high school owned Xboxes, and then the people that I played games with in university primarily used computers, thank God. But imagine if there was ever a point in time where like a couple friends from one group used Xbox and another couple of people used PlayStation. Right? There's no crossplay, despite the fact that we could all be playing Call of Duty. It doesn't matter. Because companies are greedy and don't do crossplay, because it removes that sense of like elitism and all that other stuff. So why would they do that? I don't know, it's just kind of awkward, right? And now I need to get out of this zone and go to where Hornet was. Everyone had a PlayStation? Yeah. I know people who had PlayStation. But in my case, the one guy who had a PlayStation in our group caved and bought an Xbox off of Kijiji. Very soon after we all started hanging out, because the rest of us were on Xbox. And like that happened all over, and I imagine like you have similar stories about people coming over to PlayStation from Xbox just out of need or want to play with the people that they knew. Yeah, that's very annoying. Like, I don't see the big deal with crossplay. I think crossplay should be encouraged. And I think a game like Fortnite, like, it's not a coincidence that Fortnite is and will always be this big juggernaut of a game. It's because it's the first person. It's the first game that said, we don't care what you're playing on. Just play with your friends, as long as you're playing our game. Well, yeah, there's always going to be that argument, is, like, even to use Smite as an example, like, if you're thinking about playing at the high end of anything, if you're not using a keyboard and mouse, you're going to be at the short end of the stick. Just because, like, it's always going to be harder for the Xbox player or the control player to keep up with those that don't have to worry about using an analog stick. So, like, yeah, that is certainly the problem with crossplay, but in Fortnite's case, hell, no one playing Fortnite cares. As someone who has played Fortnite on PC with a few other PC players and then a couple console players, like, no one on console ever cared. They were just really happy to be able to play a game with the people they wanted to play with. Be it PS4, Xbox, whatever. Even people playing on their phones, their mobile devices, like people playing on mobile can play with people on consoles and everything like that. That's why Fortnite's so huge. It's the only game really doing that right now. Sure, we have PUBG, which is trying, but like, Fortnite killed PUBG. And I'm sure that's a controversial thing to say, but like, I've never once had any inclination to try PUBG. Even I've tried Fortnite. Okay, how do I do this here? There we go. And if yeah, okay. Let's sauce up here. There we go, we're capped up on sauce, so we can afford to play like an idiot. Let's fall. Oh, shit. Perfect. Okay, so section 1 complete. But I will say, when we were doing viewer games and stuff in Smite, I couldn't really tell who was Xbox, who was not Xbox, like, you know, who was console versus PC. And that was really nice to see. Because, like, yes, the only reason I knew is because I could tell because it was attached to your player profile. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, no one cared. I certainly didn't care. We were playing Arena. We were literally just having a fun time. And we had some games where the console players popped off, and we had some games where the PC players would pop off. And I thought that was an interesting, that was an interesting experience. I think that kind of interaction is really fun. You got PUBG for free when you bought a controller. Fair, good on you. The, honestly, that kind of stuff, I'm glad that it's still being done, because I think it's really, it's not done anymore. It's certainly not to the same degree it used to be done. But I think that's why, gaming hitting mainstream kind of status is good and bad, because we do lose a lot of the exclusivity, per se. But we do have a lot more people playing and having fun and, like, building this community than we ever did before. Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm going to go back to Smite eventually. I have very much enjoyed my hiatus, but I do think I will be going back to it eventually, and I think we could do viewer games or something again, because that was fun. Because, like, it's all very low pressure. Like, I think that's another perk to being, like, to not caring if you win or lose. Like, it's a lot lower stress than, like, playing with someone whose whole content strategy depends on them winning the match. Like, hell, just have fun with the game. That's all I say. Like, I'm the first to admit that, like, people that aren't at the same level of understanding can be frustrating, but, like, yeah, we were all there at one point, and I think that's important to remember. Yeah, I have like $1,000. That's good, because I should be coming up on the guy that can upgrade my weapon. I believe he's actually right to the left. Yeah, perfect. So now we're at the City of Tears. And the City of Tears is like the central hub, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like, a lot of things happen in and around the City of Tears because it's in the center of the map. And you always come back here just to, like, do as I'm doing now. I'm going to upgrade my weapon. And a whole bunch of other stuff like that just happens in this zone here. And then I'm gonna go and start to forge my nail. It's just 250 geo, and it makes it easier for me to kill things.
Garadel Akari.
So now our weapon is stronger, which is good. Because, like, honestly, I think now the first upgrade is the one where you just need geo, but now, yeah, now I need pale ore. So now, once again, you're gonna be rewarded with exploring. Because now you can see, for instance, those things used to take me 2 hits. Now I can blow right through them. Because my weapon is basically doubled in power. So a lot of the hassle of beating things like that little fly guy, it's a lot easier now. Now let's continue on our way this way. And then no one else in this game can swim, apparently. But I mean, we take the advantages we're given. And then we're coming up on the next big lore point here. This is the next point in the game where they're really telling the story. I think it's right over here. Yeah. So Hornet comes down, she's gonna tell us a story.
Gala negosa thros.
Okay. We meet again. He's guessed the truth, and what we're supposed to get about this is as we see this statue. We need, now she's basically saying go to the grave of Ash. We're now at this statue, and this is the Hollow Knight. So in the Black Vault, far above, through its sacrifice, Hollow Knight lasts eternal, or Hollow Nest. So now on our map, we have it shows us where the final, like, kind of what everything's leading up to is. Right? Because at the end of it all, like, we're trying to save Hollow Nest, and what we learn is, apparently from that, is we now know that the person from the intro cutscene is the Hollow Knight. Or at least that's what we're supposed to gather. Now, I have to go and get to the Soul Sanctum. And once I get on the right path, I'll be fine. But I always have trouble starting on that path. I think it's this way. Oh, that's rude. I think it's this way. Oh, this might just be like the other shop. Oh, I forgot you sometimes jump. Yeah, I think I'm on the right path because there's a shop in here, which is just nothing really. It's just a Hollow Nest seal, which I still don't know what they do after all these years. Now if we go up this way. I think I'm back on the right path. This feels right. Yeah, I feel like this is right. I'll know pretty soon. I'll recognize it, or I won't recognize it, and then that'll tell me a lot. Beauty. Up, up, over here. Up this way, this up, over. Now we have to start climbing up and up and up. And that is like the theme of this next fucking phase. We're just climbing up the City of Tears. Because the next power-up we get is what's going to allow us to go to the graveyard, which gives us the power to start actually doing our quest. Good, now we can go over here. Pop that, opens that. Go this way now. And what's really frustrating about this, to the right is Soul Sanctum, but I need to get the bench up here so that I don't have to run back a bajillion feet every single time. Good. Get the worm. Keep going up. Because the map is up here as well. I'm supposed to be scared of this for some reason. To be fair, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's certainly not the hardest. But now we can get this map And we can get this bench, which is by far the closer save state to what we're going to be doing now. So we pop a squat, move over here,
Make him noise, Gucci.
purchase, wow, our lovely map. And then we're going to go back down. Now the thing about resting on a map is all the enemies respawn, but that's alright. Because now we're going in here, to the Soul Sanctum. Where these are the most annoying enemies in the game. But, in true video game fashion, they're simply preparing us for the most annoying boss to come. Actually, to be fair, this boss is actually kind of fun. It's not the boss that I look forward to fighting in this game. There are some fights that I look back on and I'm like, I'm really excited to replay this fight. Soul Master is not one of those fights for me, but it is for some people, and that's cool. Like, this whole area, to me, is just pretty odd. It's a little off. But it's not a bad area. I just wish they gave us any protection against projectiles besides dodging and weaving. Because honestly, the enemies in this whole thing is just pretty annoying. Because we fight a lot of those. I feel like I should just keep going this way. Come here. God damn it. Thank you. Give me stuff. Let me heal. Take this. Have I given any thoughts to what I'm giving people for Christmas? Yes and no. So, I think I'm going to be suggesting we do Secret Santa again with my friends. But as for like what I'm getting my family or girlfriend, I actually need to talk to my girlfriend because I'm not sure if we want to just say that the Disney trip we're going to be going on in June is going to be our Christmas present, or if we're actually going to be doing actual presents, because I don't care either way. Personally, I will probably get her a small something either way. That isn't the, you know, Disney trip. Oops. I hate... See, but like this also starts preparing us for the boss, so... Thank God. We still haven't died to anything besides the intro sequence, which was embarrassing to say the least. That's fine. I picked my shit back up, and now we're, like, really cruising. Yeah, we're going to Florida. Disney World. Yeah, I will always call them both Disneyland, and I completely admit that that is my fault. And my girlfriend gives me a really hard time about that. But it will always be Disneyland because it's a land of Disney, and despite the fact that she will never forgive me for my sins, that's just how it's gonna be. Because apparently, like, my girlfriend's a very big Disney nut, and she very much cares about all of Disney all the time. So yeah, calling it Disneyland when we're going to Florida is always a fun area of contention. But yes, to answer your question, yes, the Florida one. Feel like I didn't need to aggro both of those. Alright, where am I safe here? Okay, this is safe-ish. Okay, one down. Now this is manageable. Oh, damn it. Oh, no. Heal. Dodge. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Closer than he would have liked, but it is done. I also, like, again, don't think I need to aggro everything. How long are we going for? Ooh, I should know this. Feel like it's nine days. Retreat. Holy shit. Nope. God, I hate the Soul Sanctum. This whole area can fuck off. It's just these enemies, man. Without these enemies, this area is kind of enjoyable. It's kind of a neat little design. I actually kind of like the art style. But the enemies are just so annoying. Luckily, I'll never have to do that part again, even if I die here. But yeah, I think we're going for 9 days. 10 if you count the travel day. Oh, how nice of them to give me the ability to heal before they throw me into torture. Alright, time to focus. This boss always gives me grief. Alright, here we go. There he is in the background there. Soul Master. There we go. Okay, he's already doing fakes, but the fake actually ironically saved me there. Why is he up there? That's cheating! Damage boost and heal. This is fine. We're actually in decent shape right now. Heal. Woo! God damn it. Heal. Okay. Over and under. Over and under. Hit him with the bob and weave. Okay, heal while we can. Got snagged because I'm an idiot. There we go. Here he comes. Now he's down again. There's that. There's that. Come on. You cheeky bastard. Okay, cool. Now, what you'd think from this is that's the fight. And certainly, the first time you go through this, it's exactly what you're gonna think, and that's exactly what they want you to think. But then, you accept it, and then the Soul Master rejects this. He breaks the glass. And then we're into a really stressful phase 2. Where you kind of just hope to God that you do enough damage on time. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but let me tell you, going in with 1 health and then all of a sudden you thought you were done and then it kills you and you have to redo the whole fight, that sucks. That really sucks. But that's the entire fight. I personally think it's one of the more fun fights. It's one of the fights I look forward to redoing because it's early enough that you can get to it really fast. Like, I've been streaming for an hour and a half and I got to it, right? But it's fun. A long time in one place, and are you looking forward to it, or would you prefer to go somewhere else? I like Disney. I do think that the trip itself is going to be fun. Would I rather go somewhere else? I think I would choose to go somewhere like Japan, but that's not really in the cards right now. I think that there's a lot of, like, in terms of an affordable trip that we can do right now, I think that Japan isn't that option. I do think that Disney is on the more affordable side, and that's definitely why we're opting to it. Plus, like, I do enjoy Disney. Also, like, yes and no. And that's the power-up we get from that guy. We now have the ability to Super Saiyan dive. Oh my god, really? Through the floor, but we do need to have soul to do it. Okay, come on now. Oh, I hope I didn't just screw myself by using the last of that. No, there's a guy I can farm here. Oh, come on, game. Oh, good. We can, like, straight up get this stuff, too. Then you have to be wary of, like, stuff like this on the ground, because we can break through it, too. Good. Oops. Jesus, man. Actually, I'm just gonna pop a heal. Get that. Pop another heal, because we still have ghost goo. And go up here. Good. And then, since I really just want this worm while I can see and think about it, we're gonna fall down here, get the worm, and then we can go this way. Our little grubby is safe once again. Granted, they're all different grubs that we're saving, but my point remains. Now we're underneath. Might as well top ourselves up. We go through here. Good. And that's that. And then we start making our way out of here. Come on, let me down. And now, I think I have to go and do the sewer next. This is where things start to get a little bit iffy for me. I'm pretty sure I need to do sewer next. In order to do sewer, I need a key. Luckily, I know where a key is. There should be a key right over here. Good. Yeah, there's like one right over here, and then I can go to the basement sewer area. Hi, Zoe. Oh no, wait, this is just the thing that I walk across and then I'm sad because the other side is blocked, right? Pretty sure. No, that was right. Yeah, no, I'm in exactly the right spot. I know this place. He would be in here. Nope. I'm one too low. Come on. Come in. You coming in or are you not? Just need you to make a decision. I don't care. Hey, let's go this way. Come on. Thank you. Heal up. And then this is our small key. Good. Woo, he almost sniped me. And then I'll hit this for later. And I'm actually gonna go down this way, because why not? Beauty. Let's go this way. Don't actually remember what is this way. Oh, this is just the entrance to the City of Tears. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. And now, if we keep going this way, I'm gonna do one more zone. I think I'll have time to do the next zone on stream, and then I'll have to probably call it, but let's see what much time it takes. Good. Down. Oh, that's coming up, so we do not want to be on top of it. And then we go down this way, and I'm gonna take this bench just so in case things go south, which they usually do, we'll still have a good place to go. I resent this. Good. And down we go. Now, if memory serves, it should be this way, or I just passed it, and we're gonna have to walk all the way back past this later. One or the other. There's really no in between with me. No, okay, we're good. Because now, using the simple key, I can open this. Now we're in the sewer. The Royal Waterways. Honestly, this is the most toxic zone in the world. We're down here to turn on the City of Tears water supply. Because if the water supply is on, it enables us to go and do it. Oh my god, really? No, I need to heal. Okay, well, better than nothing. Oh, and that is just the worst sound that you can ever hear in your life. Good. Heal that now. Thank God. Nope. Oh wow, that did. It did not take me long to find this at all. I'm a genius. If I die, I'm not going to be able to duplicate this. Holy shit. Because he's right in here. This guy's fun. I'm probably gonna die. I just gotta take this slow. This man's a riot. Because this, you just have to keep track of what's on screen. Come on, that hitbox is so dumb. You have to be very careful if he's surfing. Okay, good. Full heal window. Good. Stay safe. He's surfing. Heal. Always heal when you think you have the chance. That's my recommendation in this game. Just keep track of what's on screen. Good. Now we're kind of keeping things under control here. Okay. We're gonna blast him. Now we can heal. We got lucky. I think that I deserve to get hit there. Now he's called the Dung Defender because he literally lives in shit. why is he getting angry? I don't remember this. I don't remember this fight, apparently. Shit. Oh no. Oh, I should have taken the opportunity to heal. I'm a fool. Oh, this is bad. Why am I choking? Okay, that's fine. This is a good heal window. Hey, that was net positive. Come on. Come on, you cheeky bitch. Oh, don't hit me. Heal. Just prioritize. That was worth it. Oh. No, can you not hit me? Oh my god. Oh no 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 fuck off. You shit throwing bastard. Oh, this is gonna all go so bad. It's hitting me. Oh, I'm a fool. Heal. Okay, heal. Oh, we got him. First try. Thank God. Okay, we're getting, like, now that I'm getting the shit that I'm less familiar with, that's lucky. I did good there. He's not the hardest boss in the world, but, like, damn. I blew through that. I didn't even get the map, and now I can turn on the floodway. The bad news is I have no idea how to get back. Oh wait, maybe it's just simple. Maybe it's really simple. This way? I don't have a map for this. Maybe it's... I feel like it's pretty hard. No, I'm right here. Oh, word. Yeah, that was intense, but we're living. I just can't let those big guys hit me. And then if I get to this stag station, which should be in here. Yes. I remember. No, wait, no, it's one above. This is the broken one. Because it's just this way. Good. Alright, this was good. I had fun. Pop this. Alright, so I'm gonna start signing off here. So thank you all for coming. It's been fun. I've got things to do, people to see, all that fun stuff. Thanks for coming out. My next stream will be Saturday, probably starting around 11:30, 12 PST again. So I hope to see you all there. And if you're interested in joining a Minecraft reality show experience, there's going to be a link in the description when this goes up on YouTube, or if you're ever in a stream, hit !project, fill out the application form. We'll be filming sometime in November. So I hope you had fun. I'll see you guys in the next one, and don't forget to keep it casual. Have yourself a lovely day.